It is Wednesday night, time for some straight talk. This is your host, Matt Hasley, coming at you. It is, are you kidding me? Halfway through the month of February already? It is rocketing by already. Halfway through February, we are, no lie, opening the golf courses tomorrow in Iowa. Hank, welcome to the show. But, we're opening the golf courses tomorrow in Iowa. Can you believe that? February 16th. Before too long, all these snowbirds that go to Florida. Joe, welcome to the show. The Star Maker. Night talk with Joe Rocks. I feel graced. But, with all these golf courses, down in Florida and everywhere, not everybody, you go East Coast, they're getting slammed with snow. West, they're getting tons of rain. We're going to talk about the Oroville Dam. We're going to talk about other stuff on that's going on around. Trump plays the media like you wouldn't believe. He plays them like a fiddle. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Live PD. Also Taco Bell. Burger King, we got some stuff. Well, they have a new meal out by Burger King. We'll have to check into that one. And if the media wasn't already pissed at Trump, they're pissed even more. So, and we're going to talk about some fake news that came out that about the, what do you call it? They called it immigration ban, and then it was deemed to be fake news. So we'll talk a bit about that. But we have I'll make sure we're going here. We got my Twitter feed. It seems to be a little behind here. All I got to do is give it a refresh here. It's, come on. Had to do is move my one camera that I got. I got two cameras running, but had to do a little bit different setup of it so I could get it to work a little better. It would, I know the screen tilts and turns. It's on an iPad mini, so it's really frustrating to try to set it up, and it'd always be shooting low, so I had to mess with it a lot. But I got it going now. But in the news, Tiger Woods, he withdraws from a press conference because of injury. I'm like, what? Well, Tiger, he's probably one of the most scrutinized athletes there is out there right now. He can't do anything without them wanting to do his, interview him, stuff like that. But he's been injured. Well, so after receiving daily treatment for the last several days on his ongoing back spasms, Tiger Woods has again been advised by doctors to limit all activities and will not hold a press conference Wednesday, which was supposed to be today. Read a statement from the Genesis Open. The tournament Tiger is hosting this week in Los Angeles, it will not be rescheduled. According to his agent Mark Steinberg, this wasn't done to avoid Tiger flying cross-country from his home in Florida. Steinberg told ESPN that Tiger did, in fact, fly to Los Angeles to take part of pre-tournament activities. This isn't about him doing a press conference, Steinberg told ESPN. What it is going to be accomplished is he is going to say that he hopes his back spasms will calm down. So, I don't know. You look at, you think of Tiger, whether he's going to keep going. I mean, if he keeps having problems like this, he might be done. And it's a shame to say that. I hope he's not. The odds are going steadily worse. They were at 20-1. He had a chance to win the Masters. Now it's 100-1. So maybe when it gets 1,001, we'll throw $10 on it or something, you know. So, you know, I hope he gets better. He's good for the game. He helps bring a lot of people to the game. USGA and the RNA, which is the Royal Ancient Club of St. Andrews, United States Golf Association is USGA. They get together every so many years and they decide on rules of the rules of golf. Well, they released a report that after examining approximately 285,000 drives on 7 major professional golf tours, United States Golf Association RNA released a second joint report Wednesday that showed between 2003 and the end of 2016, average driving distance increased by just 1.2% on 5 of the 7 tours. Morton, welcome to the show. Says a slow creep of about 0.2 yards per year. Well, there was another report that came out, and it said that this was done by, Rex Hogard from the golfchannel.com. He says, essentially the statistics suggest that driving gains for the top players remain relatively static, with average drives on 5 of the 7 tours studied. It says, in other words, stay calm and play on. The handwriting that echoed the water cooler earlier this year when Justin Thomas shot an easy 59 on day 1 at the Sony Open. That a modern game was making some classic courses like Wiley, even this week, pitch at Riviera, analog stop in the digital world were unfounded, alarmist even. I don't know but he said the average drive in 2003 was 285.9, and in 2016, increased into 290. That's a 1.5% bump. But where the report seems to truly lose steam among the game's longest players, in 03, 9 players averaged 300 yards or more off the tee. That number has jumped to 38 players this season with a driving clip of 300 yards or better. And that's, George, welcome to the show. If I don't tell you, have a safe trip. You think about these guys, they're hitting it so far. Well, one, yes, the guys, they work out for it. They, in 2000, probably right around 2000, they weren't lifting weights and doing the strength training that they do now. You see, you got strength trainers just for golf. Well, you see kids growing up with that, and that's what they're brought up through that age of training for golf, and they hit it so much farther, and the technology is so much better. The golf ball's so much better. They're designing golf balls to that go farther, that respond well, that spin well, everything. And it's every year I get when I get products come into the shop for sale, the point of sale stuff that comes with it. It'll be, this is the longest driver. This driver is 4 yards longer or whatever. That's what everybody wants. They want longer drives. They're not necessarily care about straight. They want longer. If you gave a guy a driver that hit it, 260 right down the middle every time, or if you gave him a driver that hit it 300 down the middle once out of every 10 times, they'd take the 300 yards. They'd want that. It's amazing how people are. I think, then maybe I can corral this thing in. Well, yeah, I tend to think that the yardage things are fudged a little bit, but Nicklaus always wanted to do is he talked about limiting the ball flight. Well, the problem is you can limit the ball flight all you want. You only affect the long players or the short players. The long players, it doesn't matter. If you make a ball that goes 80% flight, the short players will still hit it that much shorter than the long players. The long players are still going to be long. It doesn't matter if you give a ball. If they hit the ball 350 and you say, okay, we're going to knock off 10% off your drive, you hit it, okay. Now you knocked 35 yards off it. What's up, Carl? Welcome to the show. So you knocked 35 yards off that guy's drive. So now he hits at 315. Well, now you take 10% off the guy that hits at 300. He only hits at 270. You know, you're the guy's still behind him. He's still not going to catch up to him. The only way you do is you make a guy that's a long hitter, make him have to be very accurate. And what you have to do is you tighten up the courses, put in more trouble, more bunkers, more hazards and everything for them to find. And if when they run into that trouble, that's what they'll, when they get into something like that they'll run into. That's when the tour player will, have to do is start learning how to control his ball flight, not hit it so far. It's just common sense. You look at this week's Riviera. It's one of the older courses on tour. I'm not repeating that. If you can do is send that to Joe. It's you got guy. They think that the older courses, they have to adapt. They're constantly evolving the golf courses. When I was a kid, we played with wood drivers, until the late 1979 is when they came out with TaylorMade, made the first metal-headed driver. It's a change, and it's, you can't put the genie back in the bottle. That's the problem. So, Dickie Speck, welcome to the show. We're talking about golf right now. We're talking about the USG and the RNA coming out with the report on driving distance on tour. Well, I don't think that they can, they can put out all the reports they want. You know for a fact, and I know that they hit the ball farther from 2000 to now. They hit it a lot farther now than they did in 2000. When I was a kid, it was very, like in 1979, 80, you had Dan Pohl, or you had Jim Dent, or whatever, where the guy could barely hit it over 300 yards. Or Daly. What's up, Dickie? Welcome to the show. It's but you look at guys like that could barely hit it over 300, and now you got 38 of them that are over 300, and you probably got a handful of them, probably 15 or 20 of them that are in the 290 some range, real close to being 300. So, the guys hit it farther now than they ever did. I don't hit it farther now, it doesn't seem like, but I seem like every year I get shorter and shorter. But you look at these guys and all the equipment. They make better equipment. They make better golf balls. And people get stronger and more athletic every year. You see these young kids come out and they're pounding the ball out there. I watch out of our clubhouse, and you see the high schoolers teeing off, and I'm like, holy crap, these kids can really move the ball. It's impressive to see. Even with the women, love to see that. Hitting the ball out there. It didn't happen like that years ago. And now, we're trying to move that game into the next level. The people want to hit the ball far. That's all they, younger guys, that's what they want to do, hit the ball far. That's why they always say drive for show and putt for dough. You see guys, they get around the green and they're terrible short game, but I hit that driver 350. So, no, and, I had to laugh. And I've been there. I actually haven't done what John Daly did, where he threw his putter in the pond. I've thrown my putter before. I turned mine into a helicopter one time, but I also don't do it. I mean, that was when I was a kid. I don't do it anymore because you learn to control your temper over the years. But I did one time, broke my putter in a tournament, and not on purpose. It was an accident. I used to have a bad habit. I used to smack my toe with my putter. Well, or I'd smack my heel. Well, until I used to smack at the heel of my shoe, and one time I missed my heel and hit my ankle. Oh my, that was bad. That hurt. But I was playing in one local amateur tournament around here called the Gulfmore Amateur. Wow, God, years ago, going back there. And I went to smack. I used to smack the tip of my, the end of my toe with my shoe, and I missed the end of my shoe and hit the shaft of my putter and snapped it right at the head. And it went flying up in the air, spun around, whoop, stuck right in the green. And I went, uh-oh. So I had to play the last 13 holes because I couldn't replace it because it didn't break in, normal play or whatever. So I have no option to replace it. So I had to putt the last 13 holes with my driver, a 2-iron, or wedge, whatever I used. I do remember using a 2-iron. And I also putted with a driver for a while. But I remember on the last hole, I got up and down. And this is the only, because I probably blocked out all the bad putts I had. But I had about a 15, 20-footer on the last hole that I made with my 2-iron. And somebody was like, what the heck are you putting with? And they come up and I said, that was the only thing I made all day. That's all, and that's the only thing I remember about it. So I do remember breaking it, and I do remember making a one putt. But yeah, it's you live and learn. Stupid. I learned to do is control my temper over the years. Yeah, you get frustrated. Yeah, there's days that you want to pick all your clubs up and just toss them in the lake or whatever, or snap them all. And yeah, there's days like that. I have one friend of the family who's since passed away. His nickname was the Blind Mouse. If anybody knows him, he could only see peripheral. He was blind straight on. It's hereditary eye disease he had, and it's kind of a macular degeneration type disease. Well, he was blind for all that I knew him. He was real good friends with my father. Well, he was notorious for having a temper. Well, this story was told to me. He was coming down the last hole or whatever it was, or one of the holes, and he had a little hole in his glove, and he, Beth, welcome to the show, and he started picking at his glove, and he got mad and just ripped off his glove. Yeah, you ain't kidding. Yeah, it takes, once you get older and more mature, well, once you start having to spend, you have to pay for them when you break them. That's when you start to get a little bit more mature. You go, oh crap, I broke that putter, I got to pay for that. Jason, welcome to the show. But so he was notorious for temper. So he's picking at his glove and he rips his glove off, and so then he's picking at his jacket or his shirt or whatever. He had a little hole in his shirt or whatever, and he ripped that off. And this is back in the days and probably in the 80s when you could go without a shirt. And now they don't. Now they make you have to wear, you have to wear a shirt and shoes all the time. So he plays and gets done, and he's got to go in the clubhouse and finish up and do results. So he puts on a wind shirt and slides his sleeves up, and he goes in there, and he's in there for probably an hour talking to the guys, laughing, joking, doing up their little bets they had or whatever. And he, he's calmed down, joking, laughing. He gets done, and his wife come to pick him up because he doesn't drive because he can't see. And he walks outside and drop kicks his clubs into the fence. It's one of them slatted fences there. Picks them up, drags them all the way out to the car, slams them all the way out to the car, and puts them in the car. I'm like, an hour later, he goes from calm to ballistic to calm to ballistic. I mean, I was playing with him one time, and he threw a putter, and it sailed over the guy's head that we're playing with, and he couldn't find it because he didn't know where it went. And the guy that was playing with us wouldn't go get it or show him where it was at because he was so pissed because he almost hit him with it. And then like 2 holes later, he makes a putt from like 30 feet, and he's like happy again. You're just like, it was a comical guy. Just I loved him to death. Just a funny guy. He's the only guy I know, blind guy riding a moped. That's the only thing. If anybody knows about him, you just mention that, and they know exactly who he is around here. Yeah, that's right. That's what, I've always done, and this is the way I am, is if I had bought a club, like a putter or a wedge, I let the price tag around the shaft because I never wanted to think it was owned or bought. I wanted to think it was out on a trial all the time. Because then if it was always on a trial, then it would always putt good. That's why you have that mentality. You have that superstition. Didn't work all the time. But, it's, everybody has their own little superstitions that they do. They have, what is it, right now on tour, you got, I'm trying to think of his name. He does the one finger at the hole like this, and I'm like, I'm not quite sure what he's doing, what that has to do with it, if he's scolding the hole or something like that. I've done that before. I've scolded the hole. But, he's using some way to line it up. I don't know, but my finger's not perfectly straight, so there's no way that's going to work any good for me. But this weekend is Riviera. That should be a good tournament, good fun one to watch. That 18th hole's a tough hole. You're no guaranteed win there. You coming down the last hole there with all that crowd. That's really cool. I see also here at the local John Deere Classic on the second hole, there's a water hazard that's off to the left. It was never really came into play for most of the tour players. Well, might now. They're widening that boy out. Claire Peterson, the tournament director, tweeted out a picture and Facebooked it out of them digging that pond out and enlarging it. So, all those boys, the big boys, go for that green and 2. Maybe that might do is bring it into play. I think, hey, toughen the course up, make it tougher for those guys. I hate to see a tournament where. At once it was touted as going to be one of the toughest TPC courses. I mean, 59 on that? Woody was a hothead. He's actually come around better. Dickie posted on there, he says he played with Woody Austin one time, one of the hottest heads around in the world of golf. Yes. Very notorious for being a hothead. I lost a lot of respect for Woody, especially when he went to tap in a putt, and when I saw it live, and the putter's just stuck on the ground, and I've done the same exact thing, and made an attempt to putt a ball, and then he denied making an attempt. And you can't argue with the guy. I mean, I just could tell exactly what he did. But yeah, he was. They called him Aquaman. He was the one who. Alex, welcome to the show. He made an attempt at a ball and then denied it. That's always kind of stuck with me. It's kind of like I've always stuck with me is when, Stuart Sink, when he won the one tournament, I can't think of where it was, where he dug out his finger behind the ball and cut out the little pebbles behind it. I'm like, what's up, Alex? And they, for him to do that and play that shot like that, I'm just like going, that's not right. I just didn't think that was the way. Nancy, welcome to the show. To see a guy actually dig out behind, I just don't think you should be able to do that. You wouldn't be able to do it any other time. He clearing loose impediments, they called it, and and he ended up winning a tournament and a playoff because of it. So yeah, I just, it's kind of like Tiger rolling the rock, at the Waste Management. That's one of those deals where, yeah, it was legal, but it shouldn't have been legal. Why that would be a rule? I mean, if it takes 2 or 3 of you to move it, that's not right. Well, you look at, I can't think of the tournament it is. It had these little shells that they hit it in, and they said that once you're in there, you were dead because you couldn't get the ball to stop on the green. Well, Stuart Sink ends up digging out behind it, and the guys are on TV are going, well, what the heck? What are they doing? And it was legit. It was okay. It was all within the rules. But, yeah, you see some things. I don't like when people call in and say, hey, they violated this rule. I'm sorry, but I couldn't do it with the NFL or anywhere else to sit there and say, hey, you missed a call here. The NFL would laugh at me, You can call all you want. We had, what is it? Oh, we got March Madness coming up. Yeah, it's your ball, and you shouldn't get help from others. Exactly. That's what I don't like when they sit there and they go, hey, I need a ruling, and then the ruling goes, and they give them a total relief from something that I don't think they should get. Although, all they have to do is, if they wanted to, is put the inside fence of the stands inbounds, past the stands or into the stands, it's out of bounds. You're done. So if you hit it into the stands, it's done. I just never understood why they get relief from it. You wouldn't get relief from a boundary fence any other time. So make them play it as out of bounds. The fence, the stands are out of bounds. But no, I put a little note to Claire Peterson, the tournament director for the John Deere, that maybe they could make 16 at Deer Run, kind of like the Waste Management, and make it like the Skybox 16. I think that'd be really cool for John Deere Classic. Frame it in, put boats out on the water, do everything. I mean, I think it could be really cool. Bring a big old freaking one of the like Queen Mary boats or something like that out there on the water, and have that thing parked right next to there, and yeah, turn it into a party right there. I mean, because all you're trying to do is create more fans and get more people to donate for charities and stuff like that, and that's what I think it should be. Tell me how cool would that be on Sunday or whatever tournament where they're coming in there and they have that, where they walk through the tunnel and come through there and people just going nuts. I think that'd be awesome. We were talking, Chris Foley and I were talking a couple weeks ago or whatever. It was, 2 weeks ago now because of Waste Management. It goes, why didn't more tournaments do that? And I'm like, I have no idea. I think it'd be a great idea. I think anything you could do to create fan excitement, then do it. And I think it'd be worth a try. They have, there's a lot of other things that they do. The one thing I don't like is you go to, and it's not anything against any tournament in general, but they go to tournaments like, the U.S. Open or whatever, and you go there and it costs you like $6 for a pork sandwich or something like that. And I'm like, really? I talked to people that went to the Masters, and this is a few years back, but for $4 or $5, you get a sandwich, bag of chips, a candy bar, and something to drink. They're not there to make a killing off it. They're there. They're already rich. So, I mean, they put on a good tournament, and they want people to do is be happy when they go there. And I think they do a very good job. Speaking of tournaments, Jordan Spieth wins the last tournament by 4 shots. Well, apparently he got a congrat text from Tom Brady, and he admits, Jordan Spieth admits, responding to text, particularly after a victory or a successful week, is something he needs to improve on. But this seems extreme. I still haven't been able to go through them all and get back to everybody, says Spieth, who won last week's AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. One of them I haven't gotten back to yet was Tom Brady. So I think some of the super athletes like that or whatever, you might want text them back. Spieth and Brady become friends as Under Armour athletes. Spieth has said he texted the New England quarterback to congratulate him at the Super Bowl. Said in Spieth's defense, he's been able to go since his victory on Sunday at Pebble, arriving in Los Angeles late that evening, teeing off at 8:40 in Monday's collegiate showcase. He added that Brady's text was very inspiring. So, yeah, that's got to feel good when big athletes from other sports send you congratulatory texts. We had March Madness coming up. You get the bracket challenge or whatever, and then most of them they have it for what is it? Quicken Loans or something like that has that bracket. The $1 million, or I think was it one of them did it was like $1 billion bracket. I mean, it's impossible. I don't know how you could go all without to go perfect. I mean, it'd be the odds of that are, I think you got a chance of getting struck by lightning twice. So, but apparently ESPN, who usually sends out a bracket to the president, they get the annual presidential tradition. Apparently Donald Trump made an end to it. He declined to fill out his March Madness bracket for ESPN. And I would almost think the reason why he did that is because of the he just probably feels like they would be mocking him for his picks. And I don't know if he's that big a sports athlete. I know he's a big golf fanatic, but says President Obama in his 2 terms had an actual segment that he did where he announced a video segment of his picks. Jeff, welcome to the show. He says, we expressed our interest into the White House in continuing the presidential bracket, an ESPN spokesperson said. They have respectfully declined. So, says White House spokesman Hope Hicks told the Washington Post that it hopes to work with the network in the future. And he said, we look forward to working with ESPN on an opportunity in the near future. So, yeah, it doesn't make a difference whether the president picks some or not. I don't know. I don't normally, I fill it out just because it's free on some places to fill it out. And, I mean, you get luck and get a chance to win something like that. Well, odds are no, you're not going to win that. But it'd be kind of cool. I mean, if they gave me a percentage win, I did a fantasy football bracket. Well, not actually fantasy football. It was just to pick the teams. And I did it on one of the radio shows when Mike Allen was with Arm Radio. We did it. And I used to submit my picks. And I was going like 11 for 16 and 12 for 12 and 4 or 11 and whatever. I was just 11 and 5, 12 and 4. I mean, I was just kicking ass. But the minute I would have put $1 on that thing, that's the day I'd be going, 5-11. I was just wild. I was just making great picks on, off the whim, and I mean, I did really good that year, and then the next year he changed the format how he wanted to do it, and I was like, I don't want to be involved. There's just too much. When you got to start thinking about too much involved in it, then, nah. So, I mean, the people still can't believe that the Patriots come back and won that. So, I get people who still can't believe that Donald Trump won. So, yeah, even the media can't believe that Donald Trump won. They're still hounding him. I mean, the media attacks him about Russia like he's some Russian spy or something like that. And Hillary had made millions off of dealings with Russia, and they never said a word. Yeah, it's kind of ironic. Well, but also, and there was a report out, and I got to laugh because, whether you like him or not, he could just piss him off to no end because the media is trying to ask questions, and they're getting mad because Trump won't call on them. And I'm like, he won't call on them on press conferences. He just totally ignores them. So they're even tweeting out. And it says, one way to avoid hard questions from the Trump administration, #Russia, ties call on CBN, a conservative website. Yeah. And said Trump has called only on conservative outlets in the last 3 press conferences. And then this is what the tweets are going out. And then the one says, he goes, I tried. I just have to laugh. CNN reporter at Acosta, after Trump calls on only right-wing outlets for the 3rd straight press conference, the fix is in. I just got to laugh because, they are so butthurt is the word, because they're not they're not calling on me. Well, you treat them like crap. Every report you write about them is biased, so what would you do? I wouldn't call on you either. Well, I want to kind of switch gears here. I'll talk about there's a new well, I guess I can't call it a Happy Meal because it's not by McDonald's. It's a new adult meal. Apparently, this is a new adult meal that was offered on Valentine's Day in Israel. It said Burger King locations in Israel are offering special adult meals for a limited time to celebrate Valentine's Day. It says the fast food chain shared a video advertising their meal, which contains 1 of 3 adult toys, including a pink blindfold, a head massager, and a black feather tickler. So the English version of the advertisement dismisses the colorful kids meal box as childish before a red light flashes, replacing a kids meal with a dark blue box with neon print. Marie Jo, welcome to the show. Each meal will contain 2 burgers, 2 fries, 2 beers, and the toy for couples to share. The meal will only be available after 6 p.m. on Valentine's Day to people of 18 years of age or older. So, that's not any kind of head massager I've ever seen. And I've never seen anything like it, or whatever it is. Burger King, I guess, have it your way, Can I get that? Can I get a Whopper with a vibrator and a... like, are you serious? That's where they're going. That's the route they're going. And I'll tell you what, they probably sell a lot of them. People will buy it. And, thinking about fast food restaurants, well, not to be outdone, Well, this is a little different, but apparently, let me see where I had Taco Bell in Las Vegas to offer $600 weddings. So apparently, it says, want to be the first couple to get married in the chapel inside of Las Vegas Taco Bell? And it says, whatever to go on, it says, but fans of Taco Bell will soon be able to have their very own taco-filled wedding at a location on the Las Vegas Strip. Hello, Marie Jo. On Valentine's Day, the fast food chain announced to be holding wedding ceremonies at its Las Vegas Strip Cantina location and launched a contest. One lucky couple take part in their first wedding. For $600, Taco Bell fans can have a full wedding ceremony complete with an officiant from pop-up wedding company Florapop, whatever that is. The package also includes 12 taco starter pack, Taco Bell garter, bow tie, sauce packet, wedding bouquet, just married t-shirts, Taco Bell champagne flutes, and a cinnamon bun delights wedding cake. Mike, welcome to the show, and yeah, maybe not bro into Donald today. That may be. Maybe he did. Bringing one of them happy. Well, I can't call it Happy Meal. That's right. I don't know why. You always want to call it a Happy Meal because they got the happy box or whatever, the box. I'm doing well, Mike. Goober, as you want to call me. But it says couples can come right in and order off our wedding menu. Taco Bell Chief Marketing Officer Marissa Thalberg said, according to OC Register, it's a town for pulling out all the stops. We think it will be the most craveable matrimonial experience to ever hit Vegas. Right. I'm sorry. No thanks. Taco Bell weddings. Yep, so you'll eat your tacos and then have the diarrhea cha-cha-cha after. Yeah. No, it's we always joke about the kids at the golf course having the $20 Taco Bell challenge. If you could do is eat $20 worth of Taco Bell food. I mean, that's hard to do. $20 with Taco Bell is a lot of food. So I think my oldest son could come close. I don't know about he could do it, but yeah, he might be able to come close. Want to hear a crazy story? This is one. Everybody get, you get alarms, you got everything. You got bars on your windows and everything like that. You have, protecting your house. You got everything. You got these, the Ring, the home doorbell, and different things like that. But, and people have, different animals that, like, different dogs, and, you got Dobermans and pit bulls and different things like that. Protect their house. Well, apparently, Idaho man had returned home to discover his pet squirrel. Yeah, squirrel had protected his home from would-be burglars while he was away. Apparently, Adam Pearl noticed several signs of a break-in before walking to his home on Tuesday, where his pet squirrel, Joey, had been left alone. He said, came in the front door and saw snow prints out in the front driveway. Going back to the house, I thought something was awry, because no one goes through the backyard. Said he walked into his back room and had suspicions confirmed when he noticed scratches around the locking area of the gun safe. When he called the police, and when Meridian police officer Ashley Turner arrived at his home, she was startled by the presence of a friendly pet squirrel. During her investigations, Joey had run into the bedroom, just screwing around like he always does, between her legs, and kind of startled her, Pearl said. Turner managed to track down the burglars within hours, learned that Joey left the suspects with multiple scratches in an attempt to defend Pearl's belongings. Thinking about that. A squirrel. So, it says, she said while she was questioning the individual, he had scratches on his hands, So he asked him, did you get that from the squirrel? He says, yeah, damn thing kept attacking me. He says it wouldn't stop until I left. He said Pearl had his belongings returned, and he rewarded Joey for his heroics by feeding him his favorite candy. Going back to Burger King, Whoppers. Oh, actually, that's chocolate. You know, I can't see a squirrel protecting a house. And that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, it might attack squirrel, and yeah, don't mess with me. He's pretty vicious. It'd be like that one commercial where it runs up his pant leg, and that would be. Yep, we covered it. We covered it back then. Yeah. So yeah, you. I don't think people would like it if they came into my house and ran into my dog. I got a 100-pound pit bull. He's a pit lab mix, so he's big like a lab, but he's got the muscles in the head of a pit bull. And he's pretty calm until you come to the door and try to come in. Here's a story that went out. Great show. I love the show. Big Bang Theory. Well, Big Bang Theory is in line for big bucks. Well, apparently, Big Bang Theory nears 2-season renewal as contract talks. And apparently, sources confirmed that Hollywood Reporter, that TV's #1 comedy, which I think it's a great show, all important adults 18 to 49 demographic is near a deal for a 2-season renewal, as shows 5 stars: Jim Parsons, Johnny Galecki, Kaylee Cuoco, Simon Helberg, and Kunal Nair are close to signing new contracts to return. It says insiders note that Parsons, Galecki, and Kaylee would remain in the $1 million per episode range. $1 million bucks, with Helberg and Nair also being bumped up to the show's top tier. Should the 2-season renewal come through, it would be the latest multi-season pickup of a comedy created by Chuck Lorre and Bill Prady and overseen by showrunner Steve Malero. I think it's a great show. And it says, for this round of negotiating, CBS is expected to cover most of the show's $10 million per episode production costs. Holy crap, $10 million per episode. I love the show. I think it's a great show. I hope it stays on. I think all the characters together are great. I love he runs the comic book store. I mean, everybody they brought in there is kind of, Dick, welcome to the show, is kind of played off of each other and been just classic. You know, they really worked hard to get these people to fit in and pick up the right people. I love, what is it? Joanna, welcome to the show. You look at some of these people that have come in and just classic roles. Even Bill Nye, the Science Guy, played on it. I mean, just you think about stuff like that. I want to talk about. We got about 10 minutes left of the show. I can talk about, fast food restaurants. Well, apparently there's a story out where a police officer was sitting there and he noticed an ATV drive into a McDonald's. Well, apparently they were towing a couch on the back of that ATV. And 2 guys were on the couch, drunk, and the police saw them and tried to stop them. Well, when they tried to stop them, the guy in the ATV took off. So they arrested the 2 for public intoxication on the couch. And probably got a pretty good chance they're going to be able to do is, it says ATV was located later in the day and seized by police, but the driver was not located. So he lost an ATV out of the deal. But imagine that. Pulling up to a McDonald's and you see an ATV roll up with a couch. So I'm sure he was probably intoxicated. So, yeah, it's not something you normally see. And you would expect to do is I'm surprised his buddies didn't throw him out, throw him under the bus. Hey, we'll let you go if you give away the guy driving the ATV. If you ever watched the program, it's called Live PD. Live PD is a local, well, not local. It's filmed in 6 different police departments all over the United States. At different places, and it's all live. It's on Friday nights, and a lot of times they do Friday and Saturday nights. Well, Tulsa, Oklahoma, their gang unit had been featured on Live PD quite a bit. And even one of their sergeants had done and gone to the show and did Live PD in studio with Dan Abrams, who is the host of the show. He's former MSNBC host. Well, they would, he was in there commenting on it. Well, apparently there was a video that went viral. Sean Sticks, I can't, let's see if I can get his last name. Right now, just escaping. Oh, Sean Sticks Larkin. He's the Tulsa PD gang unit officer, or sergeant. Well, he stopped the individual and pulled up to him, just started to talk to him, and he's in the car. And he asked him what he got in the trunk, and, the guy immediately just kind of went off and became combative and argued with him. And Sergeant Larkin's been with the Tulsa PD for 19 years. And he says that he dealt with this individual multiple times and he has a gang affiliation or whatever. Well, Lynn, welcome to the show. Well, apparently, they with it going viral like it is, he didn't like the way it said that Tulsa's chief of police didn't like the way it said Tulsa Police Chief Chuck Jordan declined to renew the contract agreement with the show because it was not in the best interest of the department. He says the citizens should not be on display for entertainment, Lewis said. This is Mark Lewis, leader of the We the People of Oklahoma, said they want to review the contract and officers' interaction with Wallace. So I'm sure they're going to do is try to get Sean Sticks Larkin in trouble for something he did innocently and went up to him and just questioned him. And that's how a lot of police stuff gets done, where they talk to somebody and it builds into something else. The guy, I tell you what, the guy was a hothead. And for immediately the way he went off, it tended to me that he was trying to hide something. And he says, I got no background, and I would bet he does. If the Tulsa gang unit sergeant said he does, I would bet he does. So it'll be put out with the the news media, and I mean most places won't even hear about it or understand it, but Oklahoma, and if it gets put out, a lot of people will think that, oh well, story on page 1, retraction on page 8, that they find out that he is a gang member and he did have dealings with Sergeant Larkin. That'll never get put on page 1 of the story to say, oh, it was cleared. It'll be on page 8 that it was cleared. No, it's like, we had this, Donald Trump had this pause, and 90-day pause in immigration from, or temporary ban from 7 countries, and everybody went nuts about it. People crazy, and it went to the judges, and the judges ruled against it. Well, there was a Muslim American fencer that came out and said that Donald, and kind of said that vaguely said that because of that she was detained for 2 hours. And everybody was like, whoa, 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 she detained for 2 hours, what's going on, and all this. And they, so with her being detained for 2 hours, everybody freaking out thinking, oh my God, what did she do? What happened? And, well, they come to find out that her name was, I'm not sure how to pronounce the first name, and I'm gonna butcher it really bad here, but it's Ibtihaj, Ibtihaj. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Muhammad creates. She was a Muslim American offender held by customs during the Obama administration. It was in December when this occurred. Not the Trump administration. Donald Trump didn't even get sworn in until the 20th of January. And she said that what they did was, and all the media chased after it. They went, oh my God, because of this Muslim ban, this is what it is, that it caused him to do is take this Muslim American fencer and held her for 2 hours. But people don't hear about that. People don't hear that it was actually during the Obama administration. I'm sorry, but if it's going to keep us safer, when I was young, we'd go to the airport. You could walk up to the gates, and everybody could walk up to the gates. It wasn't a big thing. Everybody walked up the gates, wait for the plane. Now you can't even get through the check screening. You have to stay back outside the terminal, and it's not uncommon to see a guy standing there with an automatic weapon. The TSA, security police. So, I mean, if it's going to make me safer to vet people that are coming from these countries and get a better vetting process, then I'm all for it. I'm sorry if it's a problem, but if these countries are prone to violence towards the West, then we need to do this. All the people protesting against it, saying, oh, this is wrong, this is racist, that has nothing to do with race. Anyway, last time I recall, being Muslim is not a race. Muslim is a religion. So, yeah, I don't know. Will it ever be resolved, or will they ever stop attacking Trump? I don't think so. I think it's going to be the whole 4 years or whatever. And he makes it 4 years. I mean, they're going to try to do everything they can to try to get him. But I had to laugh. One comedian, I don't think of her name, something Dunham or whatever. She says, well, if Donald Trump gets impeached, and then Pence gets impeached, then they'll put Hillary in as president. No. It doesn't go that way. It goes down this chain of succession. It would not be Hillary. Hillary will not be going to the White House, just like the other 5 people from the Patriots that said they weren't going to the White House. She won't be going. Sorry. She'd have to run again and get elected to go. So, well, it's that time of the night for a fast hour. Already in the books. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on Friday night for another edition of Straight Talk. And we'll see you tomorrow night on Night Talk with Joe Rocks. So tune in tomorrow night. Tomorrow night is Raw Reality Radio. So if you want to tune in tomorrow night, everybody have a great night. Great day. Opening the golf course tomorrow. Hard to believe. Iowa golf. February 16th. Hard to believe. It's going to be 63 degrees here Saturday. Is that crazy? So be safe. We'll see you when we see you. Get some music going here. What can we leave out on?